happy Sunday. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about self-care Sundays with Ankita, and today's topic is how to get out of a bad habit and how to break a pattern. Before I get into the video, I would just like to take a quick second and thank you for so much love on the last video. I could recognize so many of the faces and comments, and I am truly elated for you to be here with me on this journey, and I really hope that this helps you. So when it comes to getting out of a negative habit or breaking a pattern, one of the biggest things that you need to acknowledge is the fact that you have an ongoing problem. And this is something that I talk about almost every single time I make a video on mental health. If you don't believe and if you don't accept that you have an issue that needs to be resolved, you are always going to be conflicted. You're always going to be confused. You're always going to be lost because you don't even know that you have a problem to begin with. So if you are a chain smoker, you can't be like, oh no, I just take a few cigarettes here and there, but in reality, you can't really live without it. If you're someone who is addicted to food, if you're someone who is addicted to their past relationships or friendships or their ex, you have to know that, okay, oh my God, this is a problem for me. So that's always the first step. Now let's talk about solution and how can you get yourself out of it. Now, if I just reflect back on my own life, I have gotten myself out of so many unhealthy negative patterns in terms of relationship, in terms of my relationship with food, in terms of how do I deal with cravings and how do I deal with emotional breakdowns, how do I deal with my finances, how do I handle my money, and so many other things. And that's why I really feel that this video could really help you as well, because just understand this by an example, but you can literally replicate the same method in any aspect of your life wherever you are struggling. Okay, so let us understand this with a simple example which would be very common for most people. When you get out of a relationship, and let's say you have been in this relationship for 5 years, 6 years, and you go around with this person and you're always together, or let's say even if you're in a long distance relationship, you're always on call, you're always FaceTiming, you're video calling each other for every small and big thing. Now one day when you decide to end the relationship and you decide to part your own ways, what do you do now? Because for the last 5 years, 6 years, 2 years, even 6 months, everything that was going on in your life was around them. If I'm happy, he knows. If I'm sad, he knows. If I go to bed, he calls. If I wake up, he calls. And now one day, everything comes to a halt. And my brain and my body can't accept it because I am so accustomed to that feeling. And this is what happens with everything. For example, someone who visits gym regularly, just ask them how difficult it is for them to take a rest day because body craves and pushes them to go to the gym. If someone is addicted to sleeping on time, that would be me, just ask them how do they feel on days if they have to, let's say, overstay for a while, and if they can't go to bed on time, how uncomfortable that feeling is. It's not something that's conscious, it's something that's subconscious. And that is the beauty of this body and brain, that so many of insignificant things that we practice on a day-to-day basis goes on autopilot. And that's the reason you have to be very careful about what brings you pleasure and what makes you sad, and what brings you pleasure and what makes you sad. Because the minute I take away these components, your body is going to be lost and you're going to be sad, depressed, anxious, because the place, the person, the situation, the call, the message, the validation on Instagram and social media, the things that I was getting and deriving my pleasure from no longer exist. And how do I feel happy now? So when it comes to breaking a pattern, one of the biggest things you can do is start to respond differently. For example, you're going through a breakup, you know you don't have to go back to this person, but you land up the dream job that you were always talking about when you were in relationship with this person. Now the first thing that you're going to experience is, I want to call him and I want to tell him that I have the job that we always talked about. I want to call him. And in this moment, you're going to be like, everything is fine. Everything is forgiven. I don't care how we broke up. I don't care how the relationship ended. All I want is, I want to talk to him again. This is the moment where you are not going to be around your phone. You're going to keep it down and you're going to respond differently. So share it with someone who is around you physically, or celebrate it in your own way, in a new way, or go for a drive, listen to some music, watch a movie, take a nap, eat something healthy, have your favorite bite of chocolate, have a cup of coffee or tea or hot chocolate, anything that is a bit celebratory in nature, but it's not related to that person. Now, next time you book the Euro trip that you guys were always planning about, again, your body's going to be like, hey, call him and tell him that I have to do this. Respond differently. Don't do what you would have done in an ideal situation. Change that response, and day by day, week by week, month after month, as you start to change your response to situations that demands for you to be with that person, you are going to change the neural connections in your brain, and not literally, you are going to repurpose the old neural circuits that you have created. So when it comes to, let's say I used to be addicted to peanut butter, and if you've followed me on Instagram, you know about that boring story. So when it comes to peanut butter, if I'm happy, I want peanut butter. If I'm sad, I want peanut butter. If I'm going to bed, I want it. If I'm waking up, I want it. If I'm eating a fruit, I want it. If I'm eating normal khana, I want peanut butter. What I started to do was I started to respond differently. If I want peanut butter, that's the exact thing that I'm not going to consume. So do any of the things that I've mentioned, in the last 2 or 3 minutes, but not take the peanut butter. Can you take a chocolate instead? Maybe. I don't feel replacing food with another food is always a good thing for all of us, but for some of us, what you can do is you can move on to something that's a bit healthier. So probably like a bite of apple or a bite of banana or a bite of mango instead of taking the peanut butter. This can also be applied for people who find themselves addicted to cigarettes. So basically the whole point here is that you start to respond differently. Oh, I am so angry and frustrated today. And when I'm angry and frustrated, I need my chocolate ice cream. Respond differently. If you have created a neural connection that tells you, if I'm angry, I get my pleasure from that chocolate ice cream, change your brain by responding differently. And now what you do is, let's go for a run. I'm angry. How do I deal with it? I go for a run. This is something that I have imbibed in myself. I am not a runner. The only time I'm going to run is when you ask me to run and I have to run away from you. I'm not into those things, but I have trained myself to enjoy cardio and enjoy strength training and enjoy exercising. And all I did was, every morning when my body told me, yaar chhodna, aaj so jate hain, nahi karna, I should be like, no, respond differently. Put on your workout gear, go to the gym and sleep if that's what you need to do, but you're not doing this here. I did it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, probably 2 months. And now when I wake up, only thing that I want to do is let's go to the gym, let's lift some weights, let's do some cardio, and let's help this body be healthier and age gracefully. So what I am trying to tell you is, any situation that you feel you are powerless against, you are not powerless. You still have power. All you are experiencing is a repeated pattern and the repeated loops that you have created by your own actions, by your own habits, and you have done this yourself. So you have the power to get yourself out of it by responding differently to the same situation. I really hope that this video helps you. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon. Bye.